Twilight Saga, cast then and now, 2026, fame changed everything. The Twilight Saga wasn't just a movie franchise, it was a global obsession that made its cast famous overnight. But when the screams faded and the cameras stopped rolling, fame didn't lift everyone the same way. 17 years later, their real lives reveal how success can transform, and sometimes fracture, everything. But the weight of that obsession fell hardest on one name, the man who became Twilight before he could escape it, Robert Pattinson as Edward Cullen. Robert Pattinson as Edward Cullen. Before Twilight, Robert Pattinson was a British indie actor best known for Harry Potter, never groomed for global obsession. Then Edward Cullen turned him into one of the most photographed and desired men on the planet. His on-screen romance with Kristen Stewart spilled into real life, only to collapse in a very public cheating scandal that dominated headlines worldwide. The fallout was brutal. Pattinson disappeared, later dating singer FKA Twigs, a relationship shadowed by racist backlash that exposed the darker side of fame. Instead of leaning into heartthrob roles, he tore his image apart through films like Good Time, The Lighthouse, and Tenet, before reclaiming mainstream power as the Batman. Now in his late 30s, he's in a long-term relationship with singer-actress Suki Waterhouse and a new father no longer chasing approval, but control. Ashley Greene as Alice Cullen. Alice Cullen was light and certainty, but Ashley Greene's life after Twilight was anything but simple. Thrust into global fame at just 21, Greene carried private anxiety shaped by a turbulent childhood and a deep fear of public scrutiny. Roles followed, yet none matched the saga's scale, and rejection quietly accumulated. Her personal life unfolded more gently than fans imagined. A fairy tale marriage to Paul Corey in 2018, followed by years of emotional waiting before welcoming their daughter, Kingsley Rain Corey, in 2022. Motherhood reshaped everything. Now, in her late 30s, Greene has stepped away from chasing headlines, focusing on wellness, selective work, and raising her child. Fame once amplified every insecurity now. Distance from it is where she's found balance. Taylor Lautner as Jacob Black. Taylor Lautner's transformation shocked the world and then trapped him. At 16, Jacob Black turned him into a global heartthrob, but the attention came with brutal body pressure and relentless ridicule. When post-Twilight films failed to land, the spotlight turned cold. Online mockery, betrayal from people he trusted, and burnout pushed Lautner to step back entirely. He chose silence over survival. By his early 30s, he resurfaced on his own terms, married to Taylor Dome, living privately, practicing yoga instead of punishment workouts, and embracing his Twilight past with humor. Fame gave him everything at once and taught him when to walk away. Jackson Rathbone as Jasper Hale. Jasper Hale carried the weight of restraint, and Jackson Rathbone felt it off-screen too. Thrust into fame at 23, he never chased the loudest roles after Twilight. Instead, Rathbone split his focus, acting selectively while pouring himself into music with his band 100 Monkeys. By 2026, at 42, he's a husband and father of 3, married to Sheila Hafsadi since 2013. Critical backlash from early studio films nudged him away from Hollywood's pressure cooker toward creative control and family stability. There were no scandals, just a quiet recalibration. Fame opened doors, but Jackson chose which ones to walk through. His transformation isn't about reinvention, it's about choosing a life that didn't demand constant applause. Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan. Bella Swan was the center of a cultural storm, and Kristen Stewart paid the price for it. Cast at 18, she became the face of Twilight, then endured years of typecasting and relentless scrutiny. The 2012 scandal with director Rupert Sanders shattered her public image and ended her relationship with Robert Pattinson overnight. Instead of retreating, Stewart doubled down artistically. Films like Spencer earned her an Oscar nomination and reshaped her credibility. Now 36, married to screenwriter Dylan Meyer, she's outspoken about identity, creative freedom, and refusing Hollywood's expectations. Fame once defined her. By 2026, Kristen Stewart defines herself on her own terms. Dakota Fanning as Jane. When Dakota Fanning joined Twilight, she didn't need the spotlight, she already had it. Just 14 when she played the chilling Jane, Dakota entered the saga as a fully formed child star, but fame didn't derail her. By 2026, at 32, she's built a steady adult career through projects like The Alienist and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She keeps her romantic life private, avoids scandal entirely, and chooses roles with surgical precision. Her transformation isn't dramatic, it's disciplined. While others fought to escape Twilight, Dakota simply passed through it, untouched, proving that early fame doesn't have to leave scars. Rami Malek as Benjamin. Most fans barely noticed Benjamin, but Hollywood certainly did. Rami Malek's brief Twilight appearance in 2012 came just before everything changed. By 2026, at 45, he's an Oscar winner for Bohemian Rhapsody and a defining presence in Mr. Robot. Unlike many co-stars, Malek's fame exploded after the saga, not because of it. His personal life remains guarded. Relationships stay mostly out of headlines, and scandal never followed. The contrast is striking. Twilight was a footnote for Rami, but it marked the moment before his rise. Fame didn't trap him. It arrived when he was ready to command it. Nikki Reed as Rosalie Hale. Rosalie Hale's beauty hid a lifetime of anger, and Nikki Reed's post-Twilight life quietly rejected the spotlight that once framed her. Cast at 20, she was quickly typecast, so Reed pivoted. By her late 30s, she'd built a second identity as an entrepreneur and environmental advocate, co-founding sustainable brands and speaking openly about purpose over publicity. Married to actor Ian Somerhalder since 2015, she's now a mother of two, a role she protects fiercely from fame's noise. Reed still acts selectively, but her real transformation is philosophical. Success measured by impact, not premieres. Fame changed everything, by pushing her to redefine what enough looks like. Kellen Lutz as Emmett Cullen. Emmett Cullen was built for fun, but Kellen Lutz learned how heavy expectations can be. After Twilight, he chased action leads, Immortals, The Legend of Hercules, only to watch the momentum stall. Off-screen, life tested him harder. Married to Brittany Gonzalez since 2017, Lutz faced a devastating pregnancy loss in 2020, then welcomed two children in the years that followed. Joy layered over grief. Now in his early 40s, he's stepped back from chasing blockbusters, leaning into faith-driven projects, speaking work and family life. Fame once demanded more muscles and louder roles. Today, Lutz chooses resilience and shows that reinvention can be quiet. Gregory Tyree Boyce as Tyler Crowley. Tyler Crowley's moment was brief, and so was Gregory Tyree Boyce's time in Hollywood. Cast at 18, he seemed poised for more, but the calls never came. As co-stars surged, Boyce drifted to the margins, trying to rebuild outside the industry while raising his daughter. The pressure mounted. In 2020, at just 30, he died from an accidental overdose alongside his partner. It's the darkest chapter of the Twilight story and the most sobering. Fame changed everything for some by opening doors. For others, it revealed how unforgiving the silence can be when those doors close. Elizabeth Reeser as Esme Cullen. Esme Cullen was the soft heartbeat of the Cullen family, but Elizabeth Reeser's real-life shift came quietly, not loudly. After Twilight, she built credibility through darker prestige work like The Haunting of Hill House and The Handmaid's Tale, proving she wasn't just the warm mother type. Then came a surprise chapter fans didn't see coming. Reeser married composer Bruce Gilbert in a private Italy elopement in 2023, keeping it intimate and deeply personal. Now around 50, she's still selective, still subtle, and still hard to pin down exactly the kind of career fame can't force into a box. Peter Fasinelli as Carlisle Cullen. Carlisle Cullen was the calm patriarch, but Peter Fasinelli's real story shows how messy forever can get after the spotlight fades. Post-Twilight, he stayed steady with work like Nurse Jackie, while his personal life shifted in public. He and Jenny Garth, married from 2001 to 2013, share 3 daughters and navigated divorce under a very bright microscope. Today, Fasanelli is engaged to Lily Ann Harrison, and they welcomed a son, Jack, in 2022. By his early 50s, his then and now isn't about chasing fame, it's about rebuilding a life that actually fits. Gil Birmingham as Billy Black. Billy Black never raised his voice, and neither did Gil Birmingham's career. Cast in his mid-50s, Birmingham brought authority to Twilight, then expanded it with Hell or High Water and Yellowstone. Now, in his early 70s, unmarried and without children, he's spoken about the isolation that can shadow longevity in Hollywood, especially for native actors. No scandals, no spectacle, just persistence. Fame changed everything by finally opening doors that stayed closed for decades. Birmingham walked through them with dignity, proving that timing can be as powerful as talent. Julia Jones as Leah Clearwater. Leah Clearwater broke the rules, and Julia Jones spent her career doing the same. When she joined Twilight, Jones was already in her late 20s, portraying the only female werewolf with raw intensity and anger that lingered with fans. Fame didn't rush in afterward, but credibility did. By 2026, at 45, Jones has built a steady career through Westworld, Goliath, and The Mandalorian, choosing complex television over celebrity noise. She keeps her romantic life private, avoids scandal entirely, and speaks openly about representation for Native actors. Her transformation isn't loud, it's lasting. Fame didn't elevate her overnight, but it gave her a platform she's used with purpose. Michael Sheen as Aro. Michael Sheen didn't need Twilight. Twilight needed him. Cast as Aro at 39, Sheen brought theatrical menace to the saga, instantly unforgettable. By 2026, at 57, his career spans prestige films, Frost/Nixon the Queen, global hits, Good Omens, and acclaimed stage work. Off-screen, his life is just as full. 1 daughter with Kate Beckinsale, and 2 younger children with longtime partner Anna Lundberg. Known for activism, wit, and fearlessly unglamorous honesty, Sheen treats fame as a tool, not a goal. For him, success didn't change everything. It simply expanded his reach. Mackenzie Foy as Renesmee Cullen. Renesmee Cullen symbolized the future, and Mackenzie Foy became its proof. Just 11 during Breaking Dawn, she grew up in front of the world's eyes. By 2026, at 25, Foy has quietly escaped the child star curse, choosing craft over chaos. She starred in Interstellar, The Conjuring, and The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, then stepped back to recalibrate. No scandals, no oversharing. Her personal life remains private. Her focus, deliberate acting, modeling, and exploring behind the camera work. Fame didn't rush her adulthood. Instead, it taught her patience. And that may be the most surprising transformation of all. The Twilight Saga froze its characters in time, but fame pushed the cast in wildly different directions. From global superstardom to quiet reinvention, and finally to Renesmee, the symbol of time moving forward, one truth remains. Success never changes everyone the same way. Which journey surprised you most? And did fame make their lives better or simply different? Tell us in the comments.